We're live. Hey everyone, John Bobrow here, creator of Blinks with another one of our lunchtime live streams. Today we're going to be live streaming with the 2020 summer interns. This week is unfortunately their last week, but I would say on a more positive note, it's kind of a, what would you say, like capstone or graduation?
Sure, yeah.
And so I'm going to switch screens real quickly. Let's see, I've got a, here we go. We're going 6 up. All right, cool. So here we all are. And so really today, I think if you've been following along, we've had a couple of live streams together. And I guess before I get into it, I should just give the general spiel. If this is your first time watching a Blinks live stream, Blinks are these guys, the world's first smart tabletop game pieces. They're intelligent game pieces, and they respond to touch, they're magnetic, communicate with each other, and they can learn all sorts of new games. And so today we're going to be talking about one of the games that's been in creation for, what would you say, has it been 4 weeks or 6 weeks?
I don't know. I have to look up when it first sort of came into...
Closer to 6 than 4.
Closer to 6.
Yeah.
So it's been developing over the course of the summer, and at the end of our stream, we're going to be doing another one of our Blinks game system core set giveaways, and so I'll announce that at the end of the stream. And if you have any questions, curiosities, feel free to, of course, post them in the comments, and we'll be watching for the comments. And yeah, so I think to get things started off, would everybody just like to reintroduce themselves, say hello?
Okay, sure. I'm Connor Wolf, currently a senior at Bradley University studying game design, minor in computer science.
Nicole, you're second.
Okay.
I'm a senior at Parsons School of Design right in the city, and I'm also majoring in game design, and I've been focusing more on like illustration during this internship, so yeah.
Awesome. We'll just go around. Rob, you can go next.
Sure. I'm Rob Canciello. I'm a game designer and VR developer in New York City. I have my own studio called Stuito Studios in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And hi, I'm Jacob. I just graduated from USC, and I like making little toys and gadgets and gizmos.
And then who's this guy?
I'm Dan. I've been on stream many times before. I'm lead game designer at Move 38, and I worked with the interns this summer, and we worked together on not just this project, but on a lot of the stuff that's come out of Move 38 during the summer. So if you were a fan of or a customer of the Midsummer games, the interns were a part of that process. They helped write the rules. They helped work on the packaging. They helped work on the games themselves. And then we've been doing periodic updates to, developer support stuff. If you're a member of the forum, you've seen all of them on the forum commenting and helping. So I want to make sure, we're going to talk about this game today mostly, but the interns have done a lot of stuff besides that this summer. So a lot of rules, videos, support documentation. Like Nicole said, there's some art. The reactor art for the soon-to-be shipping community set is from Nicole. So yeah, they did a lot of stuff. And then that was really my big focus this summer was making sure that they had things to do, and we really accomplished a lot. It's really exciting.
So I figure I'll switch between kind of the 6 up and the game, but I feel like I should load up Crownfall so everybody can kind of see. And this is exciting. If you're following along, there's this game has been being updated on GitHub, and you can follow on the Move 38 GitHub. And so, oh, cool. I'm going to switch views. Let's see, 1 up tabletop. Can everybody see that? I got Dark Ball running right now. And so how many pieces? I think 12 is the right kind of, yeah, 6v6.
Yeah, 6v6 is pretty good.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Crownfall blink and load it up. So I'm just going to introduce it. And this is the blink sync. Oh, why did I arrange it in that order? I always do that. So this is always a good moment at home. If you're loading up a game for the first time, the best way to load a game is just put them all in a single file line, and they'll all just teach in one row. If you put them in a cluster like this, it'll come back around and pick up the ones that didn't learn it. So we can see all the ones on the outside have learned it, and then this is still loading the game. So let's see. I'm pretty excited to see this because everyone was saying it's wildly different from the last time I saw it. Whoa, rad. Okay, cool. Okay, so, and I think I've got one extra, so I'm gonna pull it away. Yeah, should I have it up on screen like this? And yeah, I feel like I've got so many questions. So let's start. I'm gonna go back to the 6-up here. So give us all quick the brief overview of this game. What's the goal of Crownfall?
Sure. So it's a flicking game. It's team versus team, red versus blue, water versus fire, and basically you have a royal or a crown that you are trying to protect and attack. So each team has one royal or a crown piece that you have to knock off the board, and you have your own that you're trying to defend. And when you create your army or your battlefield, your crown will be the centerpiece, and every other blink around it branches out and becomes some different unit within that army with different abilities and different powers. On your turn, you can take 2 actions, and each individual action can either be a flick or activating one of the special abilities that each piece has. The crown piece has 3 health, so when it's knocked off the board 3 times, that team will lose.
Cool. Okay, so I've got some set up, so I figured I could show this. And I've got the red team and the blue team. And I love these colors. It's not quite red and not quite blue. So let's see. I triple click the crown. Is that right?
When you triple click any one of the blinks in that red line there,
Yep.
It will make that piece the crown, and then every other piece will be its army.
Cool. So on the blue team, I've got a crown over here. On the red team, I've got my crown. And then you can see I've got kind of these different decks built of different roles. And in our last live stream, you can watch the one from our previous live stream where we actually went through each of the different roles. And so the further away you get from the crown, so the way you arrange it, creates all these different roles. It's super cool to see how the animations for each of these roles allow you to have both a red team and a blue team, but it's like, oh, cool, that's a red gesture. Am I right? Like I can see the red. I'm taking a guess here, but this is the red gesture, or sorry, blue gesture. And let's see. Okay. Yeah, and they're all reading really well. Okay. So in the way we'd play this game is we get to set them out kind of like an original maybe football arrangement.
Yeah, the way it works is whoever is attacking first. So you create your arena or your battlefield, and you divide it in half. Every team chooses their side. Whoever is attacking first sets up their blinks, and then the person who would, in theory, be defending that turn would set up their blinks second, so they get to kind of set up a better defense. And then the person who's attacking first goes first.
Cool. So if I'm blue and I'm going first, I might set things up in a like odd, like highly defensive way. And then red, the second player you're saying is like, okay, I see what you did here, and you place all your pieces. So
yes.
Cool.
Yeah, you place them so the player who's going second is going to be attacked this turn, so they get a chance to set up defensively. Whoever is attacking that turn can't move their pieces after.
Got it.
I want to bring something up that was said in the chat that this would make an excellent use for a crokinole board.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
Which is just
something that I've really
pretty
liked
wild.
working on this game is it's like a mixture between crokinole and chess, which is really fun.
That's
So one part of that's fun about this game is you can make the arena or the battlefield whatever you want. So you can add in, cups or books or whatever's on your table, right? Whatever's on your floor, whatever you want to add in to create obstacles for your game and make it different every time.
has anybody seen? On our Slack there was a video shared of Nintendo Switch just released or is releasing like a Mario Kart with a
with a real
camera,
life component. Yeah,
a camera on a car, and you can use your Switch to
Mario
race
Kart
it.
Home Circuit. Yeah, it's coming out late October, I think.
That was announced today, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I want that.
it's amazing.
And so I saw it and I was just like, holy crap, like this is awesome. But it's just like, I feel like that has so many, when I saw it, I was just like, oh man, this is so many of the elements that you get with Blinks, except it's one use case. Like you're not gonna use your Mario Kart for another game, or you're not gonna, and like, but it looks so cool. And like the commercial, it's so fun. And I was just thinking about like in the commercial, people are setting up like cups and other obstacles for the cars and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, that's Crownfall.
Yeah.
Like,
I just find it funny with a lot of these. I'm watching the commercial. I find it funny that all these commercials for these cool augmented reality toys, or make the whole house your toy, are always set in homes with hardwood floors.
I grew up in a house with carpet, and I was like,
carpet. Yeah.
maybe
you can't. I don't know.
Maybe it's more popular these days. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So what makes Crownfall good is because you can play it on pretty much any table, any flat surface.
I want to ask, one of the things that I feel like is really stand out about this game is there's lots of pieces that are standout, but you can notice that everybody's got a really sweet looking background on their video. And Nicole, I know that you're largely responsible. I think it was a team effort, but largely responsible for the art here. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration for the art and kind of how you went about it.
I think a lot of the inspiration came from Adventure Time, because like I was watching it and then like the Ice King had his like crown on, and I was like, oh, it's like that's a really cool crown, and I wanted to like incorporate that.
I'm the Ice King. Is that right?
Yeah. And then I guess like the red and the blues, I was thinking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, because I just watched that too. So yeah, it's like a combination of those two.
Oh man, I hope some of our viewers are familiar with both of those things, because they just make. I feel like there's such good content for all ages. Yeah, I totally see and feel the inspiration. I like love the flowiness of these two. I think that's probably the airbender aspect of them like wrapping around. Yeah, super organic. What tools do you use to illustrate?
I've been using Procreate on my iPad, and then I would just like bring it into Illustrator.
Awesome. And how about, I realize you've got a crown behind you, but I think one thing we're not showing off is you also did the artwork for the label. Which I think maybe it's just hidden a little bit lower, but there's a nice typesetting for it as well. What was there anything difficult about the art process, or was it just fun?
I thought it was fun. I really enjoyed drawing the crown and the flowiness of the red and blue. So yeah.
That's I feel like it just adds a certain polish that I think one of the things I'm so excited about all the games coming up is that it's just like with every iteration, people are just one-upping each other. Like on the forum, people are like, oh, here's a comic strip. And, I think that, yeah, I'm just like super psyched about it. Super psyched is going to be the most used term in this vlog. So what else? What else should I know about Crownfall? This is, you've been working on it for 6 weeks, and like it's evolved quite a bit. I loaded it up today. It was the last time I had loaded it up was a week ago, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, it's wildly different." So what are the most wildly different things about it?
I can talk a little bit to that. So, one of the big things about Crownfall is that there is a lot of content in it. We have shown off right now that you can play 6v6. The game is actually expandable to 9v9. There are 9 unique roles. And just because there are 9 unique roles doesn't mean that 9 blinks is the maximum number you can play with. Theoretically, you can have 5 of each role, I believe, or something ridiculous like that. And so one of the challenges that we had, Jacob, Dan, and I, we all sort of had to get together and talk about this. The blinks have a limited amount of storage, and they have a limited amount of communication. And so I think we wrote and rewrote this code about 4 or 5 times over the course of this whole project, trying to figure out where can we make things a little bit more efficient, where can we make things communicate a little bit better. And with this version of the game, actually, we were lucky enough to be able to get in the Cleric, which is the first role that we have that actually communicates with the other blinks when it clicks into them. So the Cleric is a new role that we haven't shown off before. Essentially,
should I switch screens so I can show what this looks like?
Sure.
Okay.
So the Cleric, by default, it is the piece that just has a single face, non-illuminated.
Okay.
And when you separate it from the other pieces, it's more of an expensive piece. So if you didn't set them up in a straight line, you might actually not have one. But essentially, once you separate it, it pulses with this yellow light right now. The animations are temporary. But what's unique about the Cleric is when it connects into an allied piece, it will transfer a shield to that piece.
Cool.
And so once you've done that, that piece, in addition to doing its own little animation, will every now and then pulse with that divine protection.
Okay, so I'm going to try this out. So I've got a Cleric in my hand, and I realize everybody has to be watching the live stream to actually see what's happening here. So I've got the Cleric in my hand, and I've got actually 9 unique roles on the table. And so you're saying when the Cleric attaches to, let's go ahead and attach it to, where's my soldier? I know where my soldier is, there we go. Okay, so when the Cleric attaches to the soldier, cool. So I saw it do like a little sparkle, and now it looks like, oh, cool. So the Cleric, which had this yellow kind of like, I'm charged up, now the soldier is also charged up. And I get that for 1 turn?
Yeah, actually, you get that until that piece gets knocked off the table. So right now, we do have a small bug in the sense that the Cleric can currently give out an infinite number of blessings and shields. But in the final release of the game, the Cleric's only going to be able to give out 2 of these shields. And so you're going to have to carefully choose, okay, which of my pieces do I want to safeguard? Which of my pieces can I not afford to lose?
So what the shield does or the blessing does is when it gets knocked off, you click it to remove the blessing, and then you get to place it back anywhere on your side of the battlefield.
Ah.
So it kind of saves it. It's an extra life.
Cool. Super cool. Okay. I see it. And it's something I'm really enjoying here is like, so I'm looking at 9 unique roles on the table. They all have different animations, all with their own roles, and none of these things look like any of the other games we have. So like, I feel like if you come up to a table with like people playing a battle of Crownfall, it's going to be just so obvious. Yeah. What's happening out of curiosity? Wow, this is super cool. Which one is this?
Oh, can you hold it up to our
We'll have
camera?
to, we'll have to just wait for the live stream.
Oh,
to
wait.
show up
Watch
here.
the live stream.
30-second delay.
Okay.
Oh, the big flash one?
Oh, that's the big boy.
That's the giant.
The giant.
So it's a gigantic footprint that's going boom, boom.
Cool. I like that flash too. It's got like this quick. Is this kind of the equivalent of jitter? Like
It's
screen.
I think the way I did it was there's like the timer or the brightness is going from 255 to 0, and I have some logic that's like when the brightness value is 255 to 240, just everything turns white, and then when it's like 240 to 230, everything turns magenta. So there's a double flash before the fade animation happens.
Nice. It just, yeah, super nice. So, from everybody, like, out of curiosity, like, how long do you imagine for somebody to, so, like, I've got my Blinks, I've played the, original Blinks game system games, and then I get Crownfall. Like, how long do you think it'd take me to get up and running to play my first match? Would you say, okay, you're just going to create some, start with some simple roles and then kind of learn roles as you go?
Yeah, so the way the roles are structured is we kind of based them on tiers of 3. So that you can play, if you just have, a basic pack of 6, you could do 3v3. That's a crown, a knight, and an assassin. And that's kind of how the game originally started, right? And that's the way I always played for when playtesting and getting, my playtesters used to the game. Simple 3v3, pick a small table. The basics can be learned from there. And then you could, add on roles. And honestly, you don't have to add on even more roles. You could just add in more Blinks of the same type, more knights or more assassins. You want to keep it simple. Vanilla. Crownfall.
Vanilla Crownfall. Wow.
Right.
I feel
Yeah,
like
and then-
this is the 3v3 is such a that's like my place to start. I'm like, oh man, I've got so much to learn on this. So let's see, I'm gonna switch back to faces just because everybody can see kind of the 3v3 setup. Let's see. But yeah, and then you've got 6 more roles and then balancing of how you care to play. I feel like you could play this for ages.
And in addition to more the roles being capped at 9, there are technically role swap variants that I put in the rules that if you want to treat knights as royal guards or you want to treat wizards as sorcerers, you can. We're still working on what those exactly are, but it allows you to kind of play each Blink or certain Blinks differently for more rule variation.
So the goal was to create a game that people could pick up and play, but also has a level of complexity that people can play it again and again and again and again in so many different ways that they can learn their own play style, they can form their own metas, so to speak, and they can have an experience that just isn't accessible on any other platform.
And it's completely different on if you play like a 2 feet by 2 feet foot table versus like a 4 foot or 5 foot by 5 foot table. That one is much more methodical and strategic versus like the frenzied experience of 2 feet small table. Completely different.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm super psyched about this. So if you're watching the stream, throw in the comments if you're excited to get your hands on Crownfall, if you want to try this out. If you have tried this out, also feel free to comment in there. Anybody with a developer kit does have the ability to try it out. So I see some cheers for the Cleric.
Also, if you like playing with teams, we did add a alternate team mode variant. So now what's probably different from last week is you get 2 actions per turn, but now it could be split between 2 players. So if you want to play with your friends, one person can go and then the other person can go.
Awesome. Oh man.
Yes.
A huge playmat. Awesome. So I think, I feel like we could spend so much time talking through the complexity of the game, the details of the game, the development process. I feel like the last thing I'd like to kind of have everyone share, I guess, kind of 2 things. One of which is, what was, you've all been working with us for 10 weeks. That was the, summer game design internship. What was the most memorable thing about it? This is definitely weird times. We couldn't have everybody in the office. There were, shipping things back and forth, making sure that. But what was the most memorable thing, or what was something that you feel like you learned during the summer internship? Assuming you learned something.
I can
go first.
Go for it.
Awesome. So I actually learned a lot working for Move 38. I'm really happy that you guys were able to offer these online internships. I think it's definitely a silver lining of what's going on outside.
Because you're not in New York City.
I'm not in New York. I'm in Illinois. So it's very different here. I was able to learn a lot of programming knowledge from Dan and from the other interns. I was, without boring people with nitty-gritty programming details, there are a few functions that the Blinks have, communication-wise, and I had never really worked with stuff like that. Links are a unique system, and it's very different than coding for a PC or a Mac. And I was really happy to be able to pick up some new skills and learn how to work with some very talented people.
Yeah, Connor, I know that recently, within the last week or so, we've been dealing with some of the more complex parts of Crownfall and some of the ways he needs to communicate. And I've said this before in other streams, but understanding the difference between programming for a single application on a computer versus programming for Blinks, and having that knowledge of how distributed systems works is that was certainly something that I learned in my internship with Move 38 2 years ago. So it's not like I learned this in school. I learned this from John and Josh 2 years ago, and now watching Connor work through the steps and start to realize how different this is, but then get it was really cool.
It's awesome. And I'll just real quickly say, because just on top of that, for anybody interested in making games for Blinks, it's a completely different model of thinking. And once it switches, once you switch into it and it clicks, it's really kind of a wild experience. So whether you're an established programmer or game designer or brand new to it, it's kind of a trip. So Jacob, yeah, go for it.
I had a bit of that experience. Well, also like Connor, I'm not in New York. I am in San Diego. So I'm really glad that I could do this and be able to participate remotely. And yeah, I don't have much coding experience, so it was really fun to I knew a bit of Arduino stuff, I could get an LED to turn on a breadboard, and so it was really cool to learn more about code and get to play around with it so much. And also speaking with John and Dan about I'm interested in inventing things and making things, so getting to learn more about Blinks from the inside and seeing how you grown the company in this open sourced format has really been super inspiring. And yeah, I've had a real blast. So thank you.
Thanks, Jacob. I should also note in a week and a half, I'll be giving a talk at Pixel Pop, which is an online convention. And the talk, I should look at my notes for what it's titled. I believe it's growing an open source community and the growing pains. And so, it's definitely one of the neatest things, and just kind of learning as I go, and it's so much fun to share that. Definitely, yeah. Rob and Nicole they're like, nah, we're good.
No, I'll let Nicole go last. It's okay. Give her some time to. No, I honestly, this internship was the highlight of my entire summer. I think, despite the distance, with my studio and everything being the way it is, with the distance and kind of the fallout from the pandemic, I actually felt like with our team here, we formed a small little close-knit studio, despite the distance and everything. Especially when we were working on our thesis game, it felt good. It felt like a close family working on this project together, and each of us kind of had our own hand in it, right? Art code, design, right? It was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot working with everyone. They offered a different perspective from their backgrounds, and I really enjoyed kind of picking these apart, figuring out ways to make a game that is both digital and physical at the same time, and balances both, tactics, strategy, and kinetic, crazy physics. I really, really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Rob. It's so cool to hear that, and I feel like right now one of the trickiest things where everybody's working at home. Oh, Ernie's getting picked up in the background. It's just, I have to say, in these past, what is it, maybe 6 months at this point, but the value of being able to work together while apart is just so important, and I think it's going to transform the way people, hopefully for the better, work together when together as well.
I'll also point out that Rob and Nicole as well, although depending, would have actually are in the New York metro area, and could have been would certainly have been interns with us if there hadn't been a pandemic.
They would have been soldering this week.
Yes, you would have been doing a lot more like packing of objects and stuff. But it was funny. It's like, Rob, you and I have crossed paths a lot of times just because we're both part of like the New York game design community, and it's gonna sound like a weird thing to say. It was really cool to work with you. I've like seen you at game jams and been like, that guy like makes good stuff, but like I don't know. And so it was cool to work on like Crownfall and other stuff this summer. But I hope that when things clear up, we're able to have you and Nicole in the office at some point, just to like, if not to do something or like work with us on another project or game jam, just to come visit, because like I'm not expecting Connor and Jacob to fly out to New York just to see an office.
I'm on my way right now.
I'm so excited.
I'm en route.
But
this is off the plane.
I think John delivered something to Rob this summer on a bicycle once. Yes. He's that close. And then Nicole, I know that you're up the river, but you go to school in the city. So it was exciting to see that. Yeah, we threw a wide net and we looked for interns everywhere, and we got interns from other parts of the country that still half of the top candidates were like, oh yeah, it's New York City. These people are close, and so that was really cool. I wish I'd kind of, when the internship started, thought like, well, maybe in some crazy mirror universe things are better by August, and we get to have the last 2 weeks with Nicole and Rob in the office. Like that would be cool. Obviously, that's not the case. But yeah, I had wished for that.
I wished it too. Also, I learned how much all of us are really like nerds. We just talked about D&D all the time, which was fantastic.
Yeah, we did.
It's awesome.
Amazing.
It informed a lot of this game. So,
Nicole, how about yourself?
So yeah, this internship was great. Like, I'm used to using Unity to make games, so just making games like and rethinking on how to make games on blanks is really challenging, but also really fun to think of. And also because I did a lot of like the illustration, yeah, I really got to learn Illustrator because I always use Photoshop for everything I did for the art and projects for school. So that was also something that I'm glad I learned because I really wanted to learn how to use Illustrator for like, the longest time.
Well, Illustrator is a bit of is a pseudo religion for me. So it's very. Yeah.
I feel very similarly that it's a different way of thinking, and I would say it's like programming and then learning object-oriented programming.
Mhm.
And Nicole, I think that you're something else that hasn't come up so much. Like we've sort of referenced it in this conversation, but last week, so all four of you have been playtesting this game, playing around with it, checking stuff. But the week before last, sort of the four of you split into two parts, and Jacob and Connor worked primarily on the technical side, and then you and Rob did like really intensive play testing, and that was something that I don't know, Rob, what your background is. I didn't go to school for game design, and I didn't get a chance to do it like in an academic setting. So it was cool to see like the rigor that you brought to playtesting, and like you guys made like a sheet of what you were testing, how you were going to test it, and then you took notes on every little interaction, and this role with this rule seemed to produce this kind of result. And yeah, I think we haven't explicitly talked about it on the stream, but a lot of the changes, John, that we're seeing now in this build versus the last one are because of the really serious play testing that they did. I think that was a great conversation. In some ways, I wish we could have just streamed that conversation. It's just hearing the two of you go at length about, well, when we tried this rule, it produced this kind of behavior, and it was just really, really cool to hear.
Yeah, piggybacking off of that, Nicole and Rob both made really extensive playtesting documents. And as someone who's going to school for game design, they were the most impressive game design playtesting notes I'd ever seen.
thank you.
Thanks.
Amazing. I'm watching. I feel like I could let this stream go forever. We've got so many great viewers joining us. I feel like these are some pretty good notes to end on. I want to, before I do get the giveaway ready, which is, I wanted to give each of you an opportunity to once again just kind of share. Maybe it's a Twitter handle or a Instagram, or and you can put it in the comments as well. But if there's anything that you'd like any of our viewers to know on this stream, and I look forward to having you all back on. So, I mean, we'll figure out how to do that too. But this one doesn't have to be voluntary. That's the cool thing about it.
Yes. Do you need to like plug our stuff right now?
Totally, plug it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Follow me on Twitter at _ConnorWolf_, and check out my website at connorwolf.info.
Awesome.
I'm on Instagram at Cool Things by Jacob, all one word. And my portfolio online is either coolthingsbyjacob.com or Jacob Sarofsky, first name, last name.com. It's the same website, 2 addresses.
I'm typing mine in.
Oh, nice.
Smart.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
I'll do a little point down, and then we can. And Rob, a shout out for Studio Stuito.
Stuito Studios.
No.
It's every time. So follow me on Twitter at Rob Canciello, as well as Stuito.co. I will also post, boom, and then boom, Stuito, not to be confused with Studio.
Stuito Studio.
Stuito Studios. That's right.
Well, let me get the document open, and if everybody can give me a drum roll. Let's see.
Now, or should we wait until the moment?
Oh.
Get a long drum roll.
You can like a slow clap into drum roll. And actually, while I'm getting this brought up, I want to announce that September 29th, mark your calendars. We've got new games coming. If you're watching and you were a backer for the spring Kickstarter, I've got update coming out this week, and the production is wrapping up, going to be landing stateside in the end of this month, so I think in the 20s of September, and so those are going to be shipping really soon. They're already looking really great. I think I've held up the samples with the new boxes. They're just real tight. And everything. The new sushi roll cases look amazing, so I can't wait to be shipping those out. But yeah, we're just gonna keep new games coming at you. So let's see. All right, bringing it up. Blink's weekly giveaway.
What's our tempo, guys? What's the BPM?
There's like a poetry snaps.
Oh. I feel like I'm in a West Side Story if I do this, though.
Okay, here we go. For the week of September 2nd, thanks to all the entrants for sharing our social media posts, tagging friends. Thanks to, I'll list out a couple of them. Emic, Jordan, Corey, Madison, Druker Dog, Zion, probably Carter, welcome back. Let's see, Scott Franson. Okay, so we've got lots. I'm rolling the dice. Remember, every time you share with a friend, you get an extra bonus. And the dice rolled 21, and 21
people get blinks.
belongs to Scott Franson. Congratulations, Scott Franson.
Yay!
Hey, Scott.
So Scott Franson, congratulations. We'll send you your Blinks core set. We'll be in touch to get your mailing address. Be sure to tune in. We're on the live stream on Thursdays, and looking forward to seeing you all here. If you haven't yet, can we all do the point? I'll do.
Where? Oh,
I
it's
think
down there.
subscribe down below, mash the like, ring the bell, and
You got it now, John.
pro YouTube streaming right here.
Subscribe.
Thanks so much. You all have been such amazing interns. It's really a bittersweet moment, but I just have to say I'm looking forward to growing Move 38 so that this is a regularity, not the rare occasion. So I'm excited to not only see what you're doing after this internship and supporting it, but hopefully bringing you all back in and making sure that we can keep publishing awesome games that you're making and all sorts of other craziness. So thanks so much. This was really special. And
Alrighty.
all right, that's our sign off. Mark your calendars and always visit move38.com. That's where we're at. Keep playing, and we'll see y'all soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.